just tuned in, guys, to the Pest and Lawn Ginja. Today, we're going to take a tour of the Propeat Fertilizer plant, and we're making fertilizer great again. Let's keep going, guys. Now, you guys can probably see on the look on my face, I'm really excited to be here with Propeat. Now, at the end of the day, you guys have heard me say it before, fertilizer is fertilizer, but there are key differences on what makes fertilizer fantastic. At the end of the day, phosphorus is phosphorus, nitrogen is nitrogen, and potassium, which we have over here, is always going to be potassium. But there is something special in the air, and that's why we got here. We got John Pocock, Propeat Fertilizer, and he's going to take us through this process and tell us why Propeat is so fantastic by comparison to a lot of other companies. So let's just get right into the meat of things. The people at home want to know why Propeat. There's so many options out there. You know, they can just go to Home Depot, they can just go to Lowe's. Why are people, we talked a little bit about people from South Africa buying it, Australia buying it. The East Coast is kind of on the buzz right now.
We've even shipped to the Gulf industry in South Korea.
Yes, and I think it's safe to say the users at home see me use it, and I love it. It works, but why does it work?
Well, it adds, we use sphagnum peat, so it adds organic matter to the soils.
Okay.
But in the process, we use NPK, regular NPK. We use ammonium sulfate for our nitrogen source. We use MAP 1152 for our phosphate. We use potash for our K source. So it's no bugs in a jug. It's actually fertilizer.
And you can see no secrets. He's just telling it how it is, right?
And then we use a sphagnum peat that comes from Alberta.
Okay.
And the reason we use sphagnum peat is because it's 50% carbons.
Got it.
And the NPK binds with the carbons in the peat, and when you put it out, it makes for a natural release. And not only a slow release, but we don't use any poly-coated on it, so the plant can take it at will also.
Right.
So it's readily available. It's eco-friendly. It doesn't leach in the soil near as fast. It's just a very good fertilizer. Yeah,
and his plant here is no joke. I dare say technology is at the forefront of your plant.
It was a multi-million-dollar investment, yeah.
So walk us through taking it from those base elements like our nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium,
So what we do is we take our NPK and our peat, we grind it up, and we start from scratch. So we run it through hammer mills, and then we make an homogeneous granule. So we have a big pan granulator. The Ginja here is taking a few pictures of it.
So that's where it was kind of spinning at first, and then it goes into that hopper that really just spins and shoots it down the chute.
Yep, and then we make our own granule. And inside that granule, that homogeneous granule, you'll have your NPK, your peat, your micronutrients, everything is in one single granule.
So I'm all about reliability and validity of a product. What measures do you guys have set in place that keeps every bag the same?
We stick to the same recipe every time, and then we have to send it off for analysis, make sure the right analysis for it.
Okay.
But in the process, we go through and then, like I say, we regranulate it. We run it through a dryer, and the difference between our carbons and like a biochar carbon is biochars are heated to like 2,000 degrees.
Sure.
It kills everything in it.
Okay.
When we dry our product, we only go to 180, 200 degrees, still have live microbes in it. So when you apply Propeat to the soil, you have live microbial activity, helps transfer the nutrients from the granule to the soil and the plant much quicker.
Right. Now, for those of you at home, you have to understand how important that is. There's a couple of liquid products that I use to revive soil. Because they have those living microorganisms in it, it really just helps boost the soil. It's almost like taking a vitamin C shot, for the soil. It really gets it going. So this is very important to understand. And this is a part of the process that I didn't know about your product either, that it had living organisms in it, because you can visibly see the grass just getting happier. It's almost as if you were just put topsoil right on top of your lawn, and within 2 to 4 weeks, it's just saying hello.
Yeah,
the happy dance.
And one other step we missed, I guess I didn't mention before, is we put micronutrients in all our Propeat fertilizers too.
Yes, so I had a concern about this, and this is something that John and I have been talking about. The bags do not disclose, not all the bags disclose. He's got microbes in them, but out of the horse's mouth, You're saying there is?
Yes, they do. The micros on our 1111 bag, but they're not on our other bags. But they do have micros in them. Everything has micros.
There you have it. We've been looking for a product for you homeowners that haven't quite made the transition into spraying that you could use on your lawn, and this whole time Propeat had it, just not disclosing it. So we've had a little talk about that. I think in the future we're going to change things a little bit.
Yeah. Well, if you go to our website, propeat.com, it lists that and has all the information on it too.
Which is awesome. So we've gotten through the drying process. What happens after the drying process?
So after the drying process, we go through the cooling process. We cool the product off. This makes for a nice product. It doesn't stick in your bags. You've probably noticed that you can throw a bag in the back of your pickup, go through a rainstorm, pull it out. It'll still spread through your fertilizer. Now, doesn't suck in the...
I'm just shooting from the hip, but is that why some fertilizers get chunky in the bag?
They bring in humidity.
Okay, so you're saying the heating plus the cooling stops that chunkiness and really separates the granular.
Yeah, you try to get your granules dry enough that humidity doesn't hurt. We actually have a customer, one of our biggest customers in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
High humidity, rainstorms. He says he can pack it around the back of his pickup. A week later, he can give it to a customer. Spreads nicely.
Well, you're kind of taking away my tricks on how I get cheap fertilizer, because I usually go for the ding and dent bags with all the chunks in it, and I break them with a hammer. But I guess we get a nice solid product from Propeat, and we don't have to worry about.
Another thing we do is we spray a dust control on it, so it's not as dusty. So Propeat, we try to eliminate the dust, makes it nice for the customer and the consumer.
How do you feel your product compares to some of your competitors other places?
Well, first of all, you need to realize we don't just take NPK, blend it in a batch plant, throw it in a bag.
Okay, so you're saying nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, you just don't take those three things and just kind of swoosh them together and put it in a bag.
That's what the competition does.
This is a 1616, and you can see that the particles are all very different, and even they have a different sort of size. So the nitrogen is one size, the phosphorus is one size, the potassium is one size, and so it's all separate prills that are going to go down. Now when that drops out, it's going to spread out and sort of dissipate across a level area, and you have little pockets, right? Okay, so there's that particular one. Now, this is a greens grade material, so it's a much smaller prill size, and same amount, we've got the same amount going down, pouring that out, you can see how it spreads, and it actually seems like we get a little bit more coverage. Now, one of the biggest difference between this particular material in the greens grade size is this is a homogeneous prill. So what does that mean? That means that the NPK and whatever else they're going to have in it is in each and every prill, rather than having individual sizes. That's how that works.
We could take 3 to 5 different products and you've put them in one place.
Yes, we have. So that's actually called an homogeneous granule. And by homogeneous granule, we mean there's NPK. So for example, if you have a 1358, if you look in a traditional fertilizer, you'll see white prills, you'll see green prills, you'll see red or white prills. Ours, you see a brown. The reason for that, we've combined the green, the red, the white, they're all in the brown, along with peat moss. So all the nutrients and micronutrients and peat is in every single granule.
Right, and when you say readily available to the plant, and correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I'm understanding from that is you're saying that it's going to hold into the soil until the plant takes it, instead of just shoving it in through the plant and forcing growth.
Yes, so actually the peat binds the nutrients.
Okay.
And then the carbons in the peat hold the nutrients until that plant needs it. So the plant can take it as slow as it needs it, or the plant can take it as fast as it needs it. It's readily available.
Yeah, and the thing that gets so exciting for me about that is water retention. It's huge. And then also we talked a little bit about leaching. With the peat moss holding 20 times its weight with water, it's not going to leach. It's going to stay at those top layers instead of going down and washing out. So you get these areas like, especially on the East Coast and the West Coast, high humidity, a lot of monsoon. That's going to prevent a lot of problems.
Yeah, even in sandy soils.
Yeah.
You take sandy soils, Propeat will last much longer than traditional fertilizers. Traditional fertilizers just wash through the sand.
Dude, mic dropped. Boom. John Pocock, amazing. Really excited to be here. Anything else you wanted to add today?
Just use Propeat. It's the best fertilizer made.
Now this facility is pretty cool, and I'm really glad I was able to come visit and take you guys through the process from start to finish. As you guys can see, their shelves are packed. They're selling this stuff worldwide, and it's an amazing product. Now, if you guys have a chance to try it out, highly suggest that you do. Now, carbon at its finest form is the best thing you could do for your lawn, and Propeat has it in the name. If you guys have any questions or concerns, please hit me up in the comments. Love to help you guys out. Until next time, guys, this is the Ginja. I'm out.